And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and as you know if you've watched my review, Summoner Wars is one of the greatest games ever designed, and the second edition is absolutely fantastic. Today we're talking about two more factions, the Skyspear Avians and the Cloaks. The Cloaks were in the original Summoner Wars. These are about thieves and people stabbing you, backstabbing you. The Skyspear Avians are about birds who can fly fast. Fast, 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 fast. Let me show you. Okay, so let's take a look at the Cloaks first. So here we have Vlox, the summoner of the Cloaks. So first of all, I want to point out that if you want to stick some compatible units in his army, if you're doing deck building, you can use the Cave Goblins, some of the units in the Cave Goblins, and some of the units from the Polar Dwarves. So that's kind of cool, or you can stick some of these units in both of those. Now, Vlox has my favorite ability that you can give any kind of summoner, period. Basically, at the end of your summon phase, pick someone who target a friendly unit, and he has that ability. The ability to change your abilities is amazing to me. I love that sort of thing in games. So let's take a look at the units that he has. So first we have some common units. This one I really like, the Guild Machinists, because of their versatility, and well, that's actually what their special ability is called, versatile, where they can attack instead of moving and move instead of attacking, which means you can attack twice if you're in the right spot. If you're playing against these guys, don't let them hit you twice, or you can attack then move, things like that. The Gunner has cover fire, which lets them shoot and then move somebody else. The Sniper, if they move one or less, can shoot through friendly units, which can be convenient. And the Rustside Bandit has a gang up, which is sort of a swarm type ability. But interestingly, this heist ability, where if you get all the way to your opponent's back row, you can put it in your back row to get one magic. That's not as cool as you might think. It's there, right? So I can use that ability. But to get them to the back line, then it goes to your back line. You're doing all that to get one magic. It's not a terrible special ability, but it's not as cool as, for example, the Champions one here, Sinsin, who, first of all, she's annoying enough that if she's destroyed, your opponent gets 3 magic. So you got to be careful with her. But you want to run her there, because if you run her to the back row, you do a damage to your opponent's summoner. That's much neater. And yet she's still my third least favorite of the Champions here, because Dagger here can exchange places with a friendly zero-cost unit, which is really cool. And there you can see that the Rustside Bandit running to the opponent's line might be handy. And if you get them behind somebody else, Dagger can then backstab them, rolling 5 dice. But these don't hold a torch to the Admiral, who's just a beast. The Admiral here, which you can use them as an extra attacking unit, and if they move, they get to move an extra space, and they have 4 ranged. Just fantastic. Now, the Cloaks have special, some of their events are actually equipment. So the Moto Boots here, you can put on somebody and you can move them an extra space, or 2. That's really neat. And I like the fact that this can be played on the Frost Dwarves, or the Polar Dwarves, so that's pretty neat. You can also load somebody with a hand cannon, which just basically gives them +1 strength. So that's not a bad thing. You just put it underneath a common. Now, too bad you can't add it to your Champions, but still, I like it. The Smoke Bomb, though, can be really handy because you can pick someone who can't be targeted by attacks, which means you can stick someone in front of your summoner, throw the Smoke Bomb on them, and that kind of protects your summoner for an extra round because they can't hurt that person. And then the epic event in this set is Out of the Shadows, where after you put it on it, all units have it, and when you attack an enemy, if they're still in play, this unit can target a friendly unit and place that target adjacent to the enemy. So you can kind of swarm the enemy with your units. So that's there's a lot of manipulation and moving and swarming done with the Cloaks. All right, let's take a look now at Ava here from the Skyspears, and she can take people from both the Breakers, some of the Breaker units, and from the Savannah Elves. And I really think the Savannah Elves with these is a pretty cool combo. This faction is all about speed. All right, you can see that here. She can move an extra space and through cards, and any unit within 2 space of her also has flight. This is the fastest army, I think, in Summoner Wars currently. But it's not all fast. There's also power. Look at this thing. Can't be forced, moved through, or attacked through effects on cards your opponents control. Not bad. Now, if there's one thing that's a slightly negative maybe about a lot of these units is they cost. This costs 2 to throw out a common unit. It doesn't do a lot of damage. Well, that's 3. I mean, 3 is not nothing, but it's going to stand there and take the hits. But who cares when you have stuff like this? This is strong, which gives it +1 strength, which is because this can be canceled, so it could be 1, but it's often 2. And adjacent units also have strength. The diver, which is really cool when you own it, and you'll hate it when you don't, because it can just be summoned within 2 spaces of the summoner. And when you summon it, you can do a damage to an adjacent enemy unit. It just drops a damage on them. And then it can hit them for 2. And this one is, if it's adjacent to your summoner, which you would want to do that, then the magic symbols, the surge symbols, also equal a hit, which can be pretty powerful. The champions are all great. This one here can fly, and it can push enemy units, bullying them. This one, which is even better, you can boost it instead of moving it, and you can spend those boosts to go adjacent to a damaged enemy common or champion. That's crazy. It has like bloodlust hunting them down. And then this one here, which is my favorite, as I already said, I love stuff like this, where while it's on the battlefield has the abilities of every friendly area unit on the battlefield. So every Skyspear unit out there, boom, you have their abilities. They also come with their own gates. This is the second faction now to have extra gates in Summoner Wars 2. Now these are very easy to destroy, and you're going to want to destroy them, otherwise when you summon units out of them, they get to move in extra space. Sky Assault here, if you have flight, which is not too hard to do since anyone within 2 spaces of your summoner does, you can attack through units. The Battle Song here, which basically you get +1 strength as long as you're close to the summoner. So you can see that this faction's all about gathering a bunch of birds, get them around your summoner, and attack in a pack. And in case you can't do that, you can always play this gathering song where you gather the flock, everyone comes in, 2 friendly units come during your summon phase, and during your magic phase next to your main one. You send them out, attack, and then bring them back home. I like both of these factions a lot. The Cloaks are interesting. I love the summoner of the Cloaks, and you're equipping people and you are maneuvering people to the back line. I will say the Cloaks is the first faction where I really want to mess with the deck building. I really want to switch in a few other units because I feel like I can fine-tune this, and I'm also like, who can I give these weapons to, that you have in your army. So I just think that's kind of a cool aspect to the Cloaks, and I think that they're more of someone who's experienced play them because of the manipulation. On the other hand, the Skyspear Avians I think are a little easier for people to play because when you play them, your style is hit hard, hit fast. Now you could lose big. You're running in with your summoner, you're running in with all your units. I mean, you got to when you play with these guys. And either way, when me and Roy were talking about this, he said that you're going to win or lose very quickly with these, and that's the case because they're just going to come in and dive bomb. And so if you're someone who likes to play Summoner Wars fast, like these remind me almost a bit of the Jungle Elves from the original one. And again, I keep thinking about the little bit of deck building you can do with Summoner Wars. I'm like, ooh, what Savannah Elf stuff can I stick in here to kind of even do some more? Now, these are really good decks. The deck building thing is still kind of an extra thing that can be done with Summoner Wars, but I like these factions. We're at the point now, I feel like I get 2 more factions and Summoner Wars First Edition is gone. I still have it because it has a ton of factions, a lot of cool things, but man, these are absolutely fantastic. They feel different than everything that came before. They're unique, and they're just fun to play, to switch in and out these styles. Of course, all this stuff easily fits in the base game. You don't need these plastic pieces anymore. Lots of fun. Still loving this game. That's Summoner Wars, the Avians and the Cloaks. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. Dice Tower Judgment, excellent!